This is Alekius, and welcome back to Automation as Monza Motors. When we left off, we were designing a family car, which has been named the Scatole. As a quick review of some of the changes, let's do a quick look at the engine first. No changes to the block. No changes to most of the parts. We did add a little bit of compression. We threw on a twin turbo, very constricted, get that fuel efficiency curve, which enables us to have this level of fuel efficiency, which when I was doing a naturally aspirated engine, had I think 68 horsepower and same fuel efficiency. And took 22 production units instead of 22.5, so it barely added anything, and that was with some quality sliders only on the aspiration fuel system and exhaust. No changes here except for tweaking the ignition timing and the quality, and we did briefly explore having a muffler, but we just reduced the exhaust diameter, and it's a fairly quiet engine. Yeah, very much muted. No turbo popping and such. The family car itself, which first let's give you a look at what it looks like. Horrible station wagon with something that looks like a goatee. First use of fog lights within the vent, which is pretty popular these days. Outside of that, we did drop down to... yeah, we'll go with 4 then. We had dropped down to 3 gears for the automatic transmission. There was a benefit earlier on, but ended up getting rid of it. Or that ended up changing, I should say. Geared limited slip differential is still the case. 165s in the front, 180s in the back for the tires. I went with a diameter of 620, rims 16s. So it looks like it could have accommodated a much bigger tire, but this is how it ended up working out. Solid discs front and back, 2 pistons, 2 15s in the front, 190s in the back. Aerodynamics, no real changes there. Quality, no, I didn't get any quality until, or even then. We have the port. Why is that? Anyways, a premium interior. I'm not gonna do any of the super fancy. This car already is not as affordable as I would like it to be. Basic 8-track included. Like there's some benefit to some of the other ones, but basic cassette is what worked initially before we did some of the... this is with the debuff according to the factory. So this is actually up in the 125s beforehand. Variable hydraulic power steering. ABS, no traction control. We should add that back in. Costs a little bit. Standard AZ's safety. And then suspension wise, progressive gas monotube. Balanced out, fairly high riding. And then that, since I know somebody's going to ask, actually it's already there. We get 3 minutes and 5 seconds. did change. Factory set wise, we went with a medium 3 in Archana. Standard setting 65-65, which I've been using. This is the engineering based on 65 across the board. And max, that had us at 96 months, which I don't want to do. 5 months is quite a ways away. I'm looking to bring that down as much as I reasonably can. I think some of that is going to be reducing the number of cars built. I'm going to stick with 60. That brings us down to 87 months, which we can use that all on the engine, which had to be beefed up to a large 1 factory. Going down to medium 3 has us producing too few in it. But we can drop the tooling a little bit. Then because of that, I'm not concerned about the money. This should make us lots of money. That brings us to 87 months. Hopefully my engineers learn a lot. Prediction is we're going to sell a lot. It's going to sell well. Earn us lots of money. Go for the 6 for the predictor, because the benefit to going to 7 is not that much in the long term. There's some short-term gains, but I don't want to turn down too much. And that's more reflective of what we were seeing in the designer before we got to this point. 87, we can sign it off. And there we go, another car down. I don't think there were any adjustments I needed to make. We're making plenty of money. If we could beef up the research and development, that'd be great, but we're not going to do that quite yet. For till the new year, we're only getting luxury CDs at technology. So let things roll for a few months. And there we go, the new year, we pay our taxes, which is plenty. We get all the suspension options. I thought it was going to be a few more months into this year, but it wasn't. Take a look. And if we drop this down, Asmea, we're selling a lot of delivery in Fruinia. And Arch. About not too concerned about it. Opening it up will be quite a monthly. Five that. Turn these down. There's the Pepita. Pause production. The Pollo Grigliato until it comes out fully. For utilization, we're not using much on the Scatole either. I do believe, yeah, that's why we made the Scatole, because we couldn't get the safety up for the Scatole, but the Pollo Grigliato, we got it to where it needs to be. We'll pause production there too. Few months of stock left over. Our lab costs are quite significant. So technology-wise, we'll see what it looks like to bump this up another level across the board, and depending on the cost there, we can just leave it. And I think we will. We'll wait on the dealership expansion, especially as we're in a recession. Looks like we're going to get cooling flaps, active wing, and carbon fiber body. Get the family car producing again. We'll just leave it limping off. 2,000,005. Yeah, that'll throttle itself. The Grigliato is the one that's struggling somewhat. There we go, the end of the year. We're getting treated steel, downforce, premium CDs, and standard 90s safety. So I'm making quite a bit of money. Restart this factory as well. I'll just leave it alone. Chip-wise, a lot of money to bump it up. Territory where we're not going to sell more Scatoles or Grigliatos. Maybe we'll bump it up, wait for things to kind of equalize out. You can always drop it back down. I want to do this across the board. Oh, 6. The ship levels. I don't know, the Farunia one, we'll probably drop that one first. Yeah, those costs are a bit high. Blue Huz are as but at 6. Still bumps it up pretty far. Arch on up to 10. It's not that big a market for us, not yet. Leave it at 9. That look like that's more reasonable. We're not making as much money, but it's still nice. Like the interior, or what that stands for. There's another year of taxes. Like we're starting to build some of the factories. Primo. Aluminum silicon block and top end. And AHS steel. And lots of options out here. Let me take a look at the spreadsheet. looks like we could use something in the commuter market, possibly the utility market, so premium market. Commuter is a difficult market to get into. Utility I don't have much experience with, and we are kind of hitting it off. We are making lots of money, so I could afford to do something fancy like a GT car. Not that we'd make a lot of money on it. It'd be neat to have them. I know we've attempted light sport a few times now. Build a new car quite yet. If I go with the commuter, there's no reason not to do it now. If I go with something like a GT or a hypercar, we could use the aluminum silicon block. I think we'll wait 1 year. Titanium in soon. Let's take a look at technology. And let's bump that up some. Body, we're already hitting up end wise. Every year costs quite a bit for that. System. We're costing ourselves a lot with all this. 358. Drop the body down. Keep the wheel. Suspension we'll focus on. We're gonna get a lot of driver assists in the next year. Okay, maybe not a lot. Well, I'm comfortable with that, where that's at. We'll see where it goes. Right, we are definitely taking a hit, but that's because we stopped selling the Primo. All our new tech. Titanium pistons coming up next. It's probably like con rods. And there we go. Off-road suspension as well. Primo is now out, making lots of money, and factory over tax affected. Got Scatole working to replace the Scatole. Pollo Grigliato is being worked on. Got the Spirale Light Sport. Right injection. Fuel system I focused on, top end. Well, bottom end I wanted to focus a little bit more. Driver assists a little bit. Interior. I think I'll hold it there. Don't need the bypass valves, don't need the 6 piston. So yeah, let's aim for direct injection. We'll start on something in the sport category. Wow, the Primo is making a lot of money. I might have to do a quick refit to up the size of the factory or make it expensive, one or the other. So let's take a look. Primo, we do a new facelift. Activate it for 1994. Engine project, new facelift, 94. Oh yeah, we don't need the comparison anymore. Bottom and wide. Need to add stuff, on that. Lightweight forged. Good, but really need it. Just a nice premium car. So much more fuel efficient. What I noticed is the first couple bits of quality on the turbo systems is not that bad at all. Will not futz with the turbo too much. Fuel system, we can boost that a little bit. Exhaust, let's relax on that one. That's actually costing a little bit. Was the fuel system to an extent. So, boost compression ratios, tweak the timing, and of course we're going to see if we can improve upon it further. Like the way that's dipping at the low end and mid end. Let's revert and take another look. It's actually a pretty significant improvement. Lots of help on the low end. A tiny dip in the third 200 range. A lot of improvement on the upper end. Keep that. Yeah, I think we're good. Keep things where it's at. Not much changed on the engine though. Got 2 more horsepower. Go back to the car. We want an advanced automatic. Premium, have as many gears as possible. Fast as possible. Reasonably. Yeah, it looks like the sweet spot is just a little bit higher of a top speed than what it can actually hit. Or the bonuses to the 0 to 60. A little bit of a boost that you get from that. Might as well just leave it open if that's the case. Sports tires, they want comfort. 10s, museum is more prestigious. Vented discs, drums in the back. Why is that? Do all vented. Ah, keeps it a little cheaper. allows us to have similar sized brakes. I think we'll scoot it there. Utility down under 5%. Pretty comfort brakes. None of this is really going to help us. Need for cooling airflow. A premium car. Liking luxury. Be about maybe a CD player. Either premium CD or luxury cassette. More desirable and more affordable, so we'll go with the luxury cassette player. CD's just not in vogue enough. Take a hit on comfort, so that probably won't fly. Traction control and ABS. A huge improvement. ESC, definitely. Can boost a little bit more with advanced 90s safety. Interesting. Worth a little bit of a boost to the steering aids. Same for the interior, just a hair. Anything else as suspected, not really much of an improvement, so not worth cost and time. Suspension wise, we have lots more options now. We have the hydromatic. There isn't quite good enough. Adaptive air is not bad, but hydromatic's the gold standard right now. Active sport, not so much. Comfort. Basically more expensive and less desirable. Ooh, sway bars are more than just passive now. More prestigious, but it costs more. We'll leave it for now. The balance doesn't seem to need too much adjustment. You can even pull off a lot of camber from the rear tires. And there we go. We have an update to the Primo. Production wise, we have a medium 3 factory. Have the plot size for a large. Means I'll have to build a whole new factory. That's unfortunate. How big is the plot for the Pepito? That's the one we're getting rid of. We'll just get a new one. Lower taxes in Deluha. Labor costs are similar, plot costs are cheaper. We'll try opening a new factory there. There's a change of pace. Get our 65 going. Tooling costs are going to be $1.5 billion. Alternatively, we could just open a second factory. So why don't we see what that looks like? Keep it in our channel with the other one. And we'll keep it a large plot. We'll do medium 3, double production. That'll bring us down to 65 utilization with room for growth. I'm going to actually make it cheaper again. Do 65, 65. That's the same for Primo 1. So Primo 2. I'll take 105. Throw some money at it. We get that lower. We got money to spare now. 91 months. Seems reasonable. Engine wise, need to double that up to 14,000-ish. Up the automation a little bit, tooling quality a little bit. Then we have 13.6 for here. So we only have just under 12,000. A little bit. We'll at 13.4. 8. I'm second guessing that. Keep the improvements to automation and tooling quality. So we have the large one factory. How much tooling does it need? We max that out. Still need some more, so go back, redo the factory at the 2 again. Bring that down to 11, just under 12,000. And this takes no engineering time, so no need to throw any money or pressure on them. Then we can even make it a lot more reliable. Possibly max, I think that's too much. Yeah, we need 90 months. We'll throw money at it. So 90 months, there we go. Sign off on that project. Head back to the car project. It was 91, so oh well. And we'll go ahead and make it a little cheaper since we are doing a doubling of the factory size. And there we go. Get that out at some point. And there we go. We have direct injection as we wanted to. I kind of want to do a hypercar I'll look at potentially putting together a commuter and possibly some sort of other sporty model. Maybe a GT, a Hyper, and a commuter. There'll be 3 projects that will take a little bit. I will not record another episode till this one airs so that y'all can get some input onto how much of that process you want to see. But with that, I am over on time at this point. I thank you for joining me. I appreciate you staying to the end. Please leave a comment, let me know what you think, and I will see you next time. Take care.